I've met enough of those clients who become all about the injury. And I used to say to my supervisor back in the day, it's like this person's become a back injury with a person attached.
Yes.
And I can't get to who they are as a person. And what I want to help them get back to is, you know, the father and the husband and the brother and the friend and the warehouse worker and the football player and everything else that he was, rather than the back injury who used to be all of those things and doesn't feel like he's doing a very good job at all the rest of the bits.
So I'm very, very, very pleased to have Alexa Locke, Director of the Australian Society of Rehabilitation Counsellors. Welcome to PIEF 2024.
Thank you.
And our wonderful podcast studio. Now, congratulations. Last night at the awards gala, you were a winner.
I was.
Now, tell me all about the award and why.
So I was the winner of the Excellence in Injury and Disability Management Lived Experience category. I don't know how much of me you can see under the table, but I'm sitting here on wheels. I'm a practicing rehabilitation counsellor. I have been for, I think about 15 years now-ish. And 9 years ago, I sustained a spinal cord injury. There was a accident during my emergency cesarean when my daughter was born, and I woke up after the surgery unable to feel one of my legs. I made it back to work full time, despite the fact they told me I couldn't. And I've used what's happened to help to motivate and inspire my clients. There's this magical moment that happens when I roll into a room with someone who's sustained a significant injury. And often it's the family member or the friend that's supporting them that just goes, you're the person this person needs right now.
Yes, yeah.
And it's amazing to get to do that.
Mm. Well, they must see the immediate connection.
100%. I mean, there's a club, right? Like you're in the chair and we've got these secret signals.
But tell me, look, I'm sure you've been asked these questions time and time again. And you must ask yourself the question too in your role with helping others to get their heads into a space that's all about moving forward.
Yeah.
How did you get your head into that space? Oh, and what sort of help did you get?
Lots of therapy.
Yeah.
A wonderful psychologist. But I'd also been doing this job for long enough when it happened to have a little bit of insight to go, I've met enough of those clients who become all about the injury. And I used to say to my supervisor back in the day, it's like this person's become a back injury with a person attached.
Yes.
And I can't get to who they are as a person. And what I want to help them get back to is, you know, the father and the husband and the brother and the friend and the warehouse worker and the football player and everything else that he was, rather than the back injury who used to be all of those things and doesn't feel like he's doing a very good job at all the rest of the bits. And I actually said to my rehab specialist pretty early on, with all due respect to my clients, I don't want to end up like some of them do. So what can we do to get me back to doing what I want to do? I want to be an active mum. I want to, you know, be a wife and a sister and a daughter and a rehab counsellor and an active member of my community. Let's just get on with it.
And you had, because becoming a parent in itself is a
bit of a change.
It's a big change and it's a big deal. And some of us adapt to it better than others.
Yep.
Right. But you had obviously two big changes to adapt to simultaneously.
All within the space of a matter of seconds.
Yes.
Like spinal cord cut, lifts her out of the belly, literally within the space of about 60 seconds.
Wow.
Yep.
And then, you know, to what extent was that role of being a mother, was that a big catalyst for your new future?
Yeah. Within about 24 hours of waking up after the surgery, they'd worked out that something had gone wrong. You know, they had that initial thing of, it's just the spinal anesthetics taking a little bit longer than normal to wear off. Let's just wait and see what happened. But had that moment where I had the room full of doctors and they're all in there going, ooh, and there's a lot of very frightened looks on faces because, you know, when something goes wrong in surgery, it can turn into a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
And they came in and they said, well, there's these drugs that you can take that's going to mean that you can actually get out of bed and move, or you can breastfeed your baby.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot more to parenthood than the way you feed your kid.
Mm.
Now, Penny was born at 35 weeks. She was in the NICU. She was being fed through a tube in her nose, which is still the way she thinks all babies are fed when we're newborns, right?
Okay.
Like
Mm-hmm.
milk gets tipped down a tube.
Yeah.
And I went, well, she's already getting some formula because I couldn't get to her.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I want to do is go and sit next to my baby in the little humidity crib.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to get myself there? Well, if you take this medication, we can hop you out of bed, we can chuck you in a wheelchair and you can go down the hallway. And I went, well, let's just do it.
Mm.
Yeah, because being a mum is about building meaningful connection with your baby. It's about being able to hold them and change them and bath them and all the rest of it. I know it's controversial, but in my mind, it was like, who cares what she eats?
Mm.
And, you know, she's perfectly fine.
Yes. Yeah. Funny that. Yeah. And your role now. So what are you doing now with the business, and where are you taking it, and what are you finding with the way the industry is evolving?
Yeah, so my role as a director with ASORC is actually a labour of love. It's a volunteer role.
Wow.
My day job is as an operations manager for learning and development with an occupational rehab provider called Resilia. We specialise in psychological injuries. And in my day job, I'm training new graduates. I'm involved in recruitment and retention, working out where the skill gaps are, able to pass on my knowledge to the next generation of rehab counsellors. I still carry a little caseload. I don't think I ever want to give that up.
Yes.
I really enjoy,
Mm.
just really enjoy being able to give back to other people.
Mhm.
And then at ASORC, I guess it's the same thing. It's about inspiring the next generation of rehab counsellors. It's about retaining talent within this industry. It's about helping people to understand that, it might not be the thing that we all dream about doing when we're in high school, right? Like, who dreams in high school?
Exactly.
I'm going to have a career in workers' comp. Most of us fell into it by accident, but there's a reason a lot of us stick around. We get
Yes.
to do some pretty special stuff, and it's an absolute privilege to be able to meet with someone when they've just experienced the worst thing that's ever happened to them, and to be able to partner with them to help to put their lives back together. That's magic. And I want to continue to help inspire the next generation of rehab counsellors and other health professionals to be able to do that.
So the next generation of rehab counsellors are sitting in front of you.
Yes.
What's your key message to them? Because they very fortunately haven't had the lived experience
Absolutely.
and the forced learning that you've had.
I'd say to listen to your clients. Go and learn from people with lived experience. Don't be afraid to go and talk to people who've been there and done it before you, whether it's people, senior to you within your organization, whether it's someone like me, like if you see me at an event like the PIEF conference or any other conferences, come up and introduce yourself. Like, I'm not afraid to talk about my story. And there's a whole lot of people out there like me that really want to use our lived experience to give back to the community and help to inspire the next generation. So I think my message is just listen.
Lovely. And thank you so much for your time in
You're welcome.
PIEF Studio
Thank
2024. You. And congratulations on your much and well-deserved award.
Thank you so much.
And best of luck for the here we go. Best of luck for the for the company and everything that you do.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.